why 99% of all black belts actually suck. Now, wait a sec. This is coming from a guy who's done many martial arts, yet I do not hold a black belt rank in any system. With that being said, I have wiped the floor with many black belts and other systems. I've wiped the floor of them when it comes to hard sparring, when it comes to these challenges. Real quick, if you're new here, my name is Joel Pollard. In today's JKD Talks, we'll be talking about why 99% of black belts actually suck, why they're not that good. First off, I have to address the elephant in the room that I am not talking about all martial arts. Specifically, I'm not talking about Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Kyokushin, and Judo. Right? If you're doing those arts and you're a black belt, okay, you're good, you're squared away, cool. I'm talking about the karate, the Korean karate, the Tang Sudo, the Hapkido, the Aikido, the Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. I'm talking about those arts, right? Taekwondo, if I didn't say that. I'm talking about those more traditional, even most Kung Fu styles, to be honest. And most Kung Fu styles, and with that, most all karate styles, for the exception of Kyokushin, which that's really good, but I can talk about that. So my first reason to this claim is that to be a black belt means that you are an expert in that subject matter. I see so many guys say, oh, well, actually the black belt is meaning you're a beginner in the level now, that you're just starting your journey. It doesn't take 10 years for you to get a black belt to just start your journey. That's cope. That's cope. That if you're a black belt, no, you shouldn't be the best guy in the world, but you should know how to defend yourself. You should know what you're doing. You should know how technique works and why it works. You should know body mechanics. You should know kinetic lengthening. You should know stuff, right? I see so many guys that they do stuff and they don't even know why they're doing it. You're not an expert, my friend. I've asked all the black belts that I know, why do old martial arts like karate, taekwondo, other kung fu styles, certain ones, why do they teach these hard blocks? Why do they teach these hard blocks? Like, how do we actually use them in real life, right? And funny enough, none of them knew. Either they had a dumb answer or they didn't know. They didn't know. One guy said, oh, this is to block a baseball hit. Someone hits a baseball, you block like this. Dumb answer. You're gonna break your forearm. No, it's not for that. No. Or some guys really think that they can really block that fast as someone tries to hit them. Reality, if blocking like this actually worked, we would see it in the UFC, we'd see it in boxing, we'd see it in kickboxing, we would see it in something. But we don't. And I ask them, why is that? They don't know. They say, black belts now, black belts. They don't know. Then when I tell them the answer, I'm thinking, how is this guy a black belt? If I know the answer, he doesn't. That's a problem. How can I quiz the teacher, the math teacher, and they get the answers wrong? So when I tell the guy, it's actually for weapons, all martial arts, most all old traditional martial arts are weapons-based arts. That these blocks were first developed, these forms were developed to practice their weaponry with empty hands. So these blocks are incredibly hard to really pull off and realize someone's attacking you. Versus if I have a knife and I block and I can cut, Or if I have a knife, he kicks, I can block, I can cut. Or if I had armor, because yet again, this is for war times, this is when these arts were made. These forms are thousands of years old, hundreds of years old. If I have armor on, and the guy throws a spear, I can block the spear, and I have a knife now, I can block the spear, come up and cut his throat. It makes sense. But they don't know that. They really think, because who they were trained by, they really think that you're supposed to do this. You think they're supposed to do that for a punch. That's a problem. That's a fat problem. And the problem comes from that the guy that he learned it from, the karate instructor that taught him, he doesn't know. He's never been in a fight. He's never tried it. He's never used the stuff. He doesn't know what he's actually doing. And so they're just teaching something. They don't know what they're doing and why they're doing it. That's a big problem. That shows you're not an expert in the field you're doing, right? The second problem I just talked about a little bit was that the teachers don't know what they're doing. The teachers haven't been in fights. The teachers haven't ever used the stuff. Because if they did, they would start changing things. If they did, they would say, okay, guys, I know in the form we do this, but in reality, we're going to want to parry more. We're going to want to attack. We're going to want to parry or maybe block a little bit, but we're not going to do these blocks in real life, guys. They would say that. All the karate black belts, all those black belts have not been in any type of altercation, any challenge, anything like that. And I'm not saying go get in fights. That's what I'm saying. Obviously, don't be dumb. What I am saying is, if I do not speak Spanish, how can I teach you Spanish? If I do not know calculus, how can I teach you calculus? If I do not know how to drive, how can I teach you how to drive? So by default, if he is not a fighter, if he's not fought, how can he teach you how to fight? That's a problem. That's a problem. And so then yet again, let's say forget about that. If they don't even know why the forms are made, what the forms are actually for, what the techniques are actually for, well then what are we doing? If you don't even know where the blocks come from, what are we doing? If you really think the blocking like this is for a punch, you're crazy. I mean, it's dumb. It's dumb. Some guys will cope and say, oh, they're for grabs. Oh, the grabs. Okay, you might do it for a grab. So I might give you that one being nice. But in real life, if a big 250-pound guy grabs your shirt, this block's not going to help, my friend. This block's not going to help, my friend. No. But anyway, they'll say stuff like that. My third point is that a lot of these guys, not all of them, I will say not, some are really good, and I'm not talking about them, but some think they're hot stuff. Oh, I'm a black belt, I'm 27, 25, I'm black belt in whatever, third degree, whatever. They think they're hot stuff, right? When it only took them 5-6 years to do. When in reality, if 95% of people can go to a karate class for 5 years and get a black belt, it's not hard to get a black belt. If the attrition rate is close to 100, as long as you just keep going, that's too easy. That's why when you see other arts that actually practice stuff like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, takes them 10 years versus Taekwondo, karate, these other arts, 5-6 years with a little effort. Where you can be huge and obese, you can be short and scrawny and skinny and not strong, you can be any type of way and get a black belt. There's a problem with that, right? There's a problem. There's a reason why you talk about special forces. There's a reason why not everybody can be in special forces. It's because it's hard. It's elite. The best of the best. If everybody could go and be a Navy SEAL, would it be cool? Would it be elite? Would it be top tier? No. So if everybody could just be a black belt and just go to class 2 times a week and then 4 years later you get a black belt, yay! No. Something's wrong with the teach. Something's wrong because it shouldn't be that many black belts. It should be too hard. It should require dedication, hard work, and actual skill level. Not just, hey, you came to class for 3 years, here you go, here's your next belt. Oh, you came to class for a couple years, a couple months, here's your next belt. That's wrong. That's incorrect. The art that does this correctly, stuff like Judo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I really mention them because I'm not seeing a bad Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Somebody, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt that did not know what they're doing. I've not seen it. I'm sure maybe there's some out there, maybe somewhere, but I've not seen it. That's impressive. That's the point. That you don't get belts in Jiu-Jitsu just for showing up. You actually have to put in hard work, dedication, and get skill. You have to actually be good. You have to actually start beating people that are close to your level. You have to beat them. It's not come to class and get your belt. That's the problem. That most martial arts, it is like that. It's come to class, get your belt. TCF, another good one. You actually gotta fight. You actually have to fight and be able to fight. It's not come to class here. It's no, we're gonna get in the ring. You're gonna actually compete and fight and go in this tournament or whatever. Go in the ring and go kickbox. You gotta actually fight. That's how you actually get a belt. You have to earn it. It's not just by showing up. You have to show that you have a better skill level now and that you can actually use it. But yet again, the bar is so low because the teachers don't know anything. The teachers aren't that good. The teacher's never been to fight. He's never fought on the ring. He's never been challenged. So the bar is so low already. It's already here. So of course, students are going to be down here. Of course. Real quick, if you actually want to learn, effective, practical martial arts where you can actually use it, then go in the description of my video. Somewhere down here, you click on the description. You're going to find a link to my $10 a month course. In there, you're going to learn all this good stuff. Recently, funny enough, we actually just had two different guys get into fights and altercations last week, and they both wiped the floor and were able to get away and defend themselves and actually win. So funny enough, I didn't plan that, and I'm not saying get in fights, but this stuff actually works. That's the thing. Everybody in the course has actually had to use the stuff, have all said it's worked, that it actually worked, the techniques that worked. And so if you actually want to learn real stuff, not waste your time, then go in the description of this video and the link down below, you're going to find it. It's going to be a $10 a month course to learn Jeet Kune and also that I teach and show. as well as down there as well is going to be a self-improvement course. If you want to be a better person and level up, then go. That is a free course under there. So check out the free self-improvement course and check out the $10 a month actual martial art course where you work with me, as well as having hundreds of videos on how to actually defend yourself and what to do, how to not waste your time. Well, let's get back in the video. The fourth point is that they get so blinded, oh, my stuff is so good, I'm so good, that they think that their little art is all they need. Is that for guns, knife, bat, multiple people, grappling, standing, throwing, that's the one art they need for everything. That they'll just use that for everything and just beat everybody up. I got this idea from Adam Chan. Adam Chan is a very good martial artist. He talked about this, that people think like that. People think, oh, I'll just use karate for knife situations, for guns, for gun disarms, for bats, for multiple people, for standing up, for grappling, for clinching. They think they're going to use the system for everything. That doesn't make sense. That's not how that actually works, because every system specializes in something. If I were to ask you, what's the fastest way to get around? Or no, not even the fastest. What's the best way to travel? If I ask this question and you think of an answer, bam. The problem is there is no best answer. That the best mode of travel depends on where you're trying to go and how fast you're trying to get there. A lot of guys say, oh, a jet, a plane, a jet, a plane. The jet and the plane aren't going to help if you just got to walk 50 paces that way. It's going to be too much. It's gonna be too much. You got bored and all that stuff when you can just walk over and get it, right? Or let's say it's down the street, take a bike. Or you're going through the Amazon jungle in the woods, going down a creek. An ATV, a 4-wheeler is really good, or a tank. Or the whole point is that there's not one best blank. That each has a different skill set. For the water, it's a boat. Under the water is a submarine. You don't take the boat underwater. No, you get a submarine for that. It's a different thing. That's the point. Martial arts. Clearly, each martial art specializes in something. Standing, striking, grappling, clinching, dirty tactics. They all specialize in something, even weapons. That you can't think, oh, I do karate, therefore I'm going to be really good at weaponry. No, that doesn't make sense. Each martial art specializes in something. And to think that your one thing or your one style that mixes styles is going to be great for everything is illogical. It's not smart. Like I mentioned before, I see these black belts are doing their thing. I might talk with them. I might see their stuff. Okay. And then the second we lace up the hard spar to actually go at it, their stuff no longer works. Now I wipe the floor with them. They had no chance. And it's like, how are you a black belt if I could do this to you? That's my problem with it. Then when they try to challenge me, I don't know anything. Okay, let's see, they try to challenge me and then I wipe the floor with them. To me, it's a problem because it shouldn't have been that easy. It's because in reality, what you're doing does not work. What you're doing, you don't know what you're doing. That's the problem. That if it worked at all, it would at least be a little bit harder. It would at least be, you'd actually be able to punch me at least. But every time, it's easy. The difference is that I actually train stuff that actually works, that actually makes sense, that makes logical sense, not just practicing movements that somebody just tells you to do. That I actually train stuff that's tested and that's tried, that it's not just theory. So that's it for this video today. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you did not like the video, go ahead, dislike it. Let me know in the comments below what you think, what your take is on this. I'm very curious, but this is my opinion, and I stand by this. And out the way, if you like the video, be sure to subscribe as well. I'm gonna have more videos like this and videos where I actually show you stuff for free, how to actually train yourself, what works, how to really end a fight in seconds. That's what it's about. It's not about going and fighting for 10 minutes straight. So with that out the way, I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe, peace, and keep training. See you guys.